Good morning and welcome to the Commission's administrative meeting for January 26, 2021. It's 25 degrees in Baltimore as we speak, and we are in the heart of winter. Just as an annual reminder, the Commission is concerned about utility bills. I do recognize that some residents with modest homes may be facing utility bills in the $200, $300, $400, $500 range this winter. And as a reminder, the state has a number of resources, along with utility resources, to help manage your utility bills this winter. I would recommend that to the extent you or your neighbors have concerns with respect to paying your bills, please reach out to this commission, Office of People's Counsel, and the Office of Home Energy Programs. Additionally, in terms of non-state resources, there are nonprofit programs available. Additionally, the utilities have their own programs to help needy utility customers. On the other end of the spectrum, in terms of investments, utility ratepayers in Maryland are reminded that they pay in every single month to the Empower energy efficiency programs, both for electric and for gas programs. And this might be a very important time to take a look. Make sure that your equipment at your home is energy efficient. Oftentimes, if 10 or 15 years pass and your systems still work, you may not need to invest in new equipment. However, with advances in technology, some of the higher efficiency equipment now could actually return to savings in just a very short period of time. So I would ask customers to take a look at the offerings that their utilities provide in terms of Empower and take full advantage of them. We have meeting minutes to approve from our last meeting on January 19th, 2022. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. Good morning, Mr. Secretary.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. There are no consent items today, but at the outset, we will defer item number 4 to the February 9, 2022 administrative meeting. Also today, we will take items 8 and 9 first. Item 8 is an application for a license to supply electricity from Energy Analysis Group Limited Liability Company. And item 9 is an application for a license to supply natural gas from the same company. On these items for staff, we have Kevin Mosier and Kenneth Albert, and for the company, Toby Wheelcatch.
Thank you. Good morning to both staff and to counsel for Energy Analysis Group. This item was on a previous administrative meeting, and at the request of Commissioner O'Donnell, this item was held over for additional questioning. I'll turn initially to Commissioner O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did hold these because I couldn't see the information I wanted to see readily, and I had some questions about that. But and unfortunately, it was a mistake that we made, so it didn't need to be held. But so no harm, no foul, I hope, on my part on holding these. And I do have a question, though, if we have the representatives of the companies here when the time is appropriate, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Can the representative for the company, Energy Analysis Group, please make an appearance?
Yes, I'm here. Hear me?
Yes. Do you have video?
Yes. Second. Sure why that's not working. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Seems to be connecting. Oh, there
we
it
go.
is.
Hello. Okay, you could probably see
you?
us. We could see you. Thank you.
You're okay.
Can you just please state your name and title?
Toby Wheelcatch, manager.
Thank you, Ms. Wilketch. Some quick questions from Commissioner O'Donnell.
Just a quick question. I apologize to
Sure.
Energy Analysis Group for the delay. But while we have you here, I wanted to ask you about the company's understanding of our new renewed focus and emphasis on compliance enforcement. Are you aware of that at the company?
No.
Okay. You might want to take a look at that, just
Okay.
to understand that we've created a new organization within our Consumer Affairs Division called a Compliance Enforcement Unit. And as a licensed broker in the state of Maryland, you'll be required to adhere to and comply with all of the requirements of the Public Utilities Article N of COMAR. And maybe it would serve you well in the long run to give some thought to compliance with those requirements. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a compliance officer or someone in charge of compliance?
No, but we could, I'll make sure to be on top of that.
Okay. Well, there's some food for thought for you as we renew our focus on compliance.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Wilcash, some questions for you. You state you're the manager of broker services, is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. I've reviewed your application for both electricity and for natural gas. I note that in most service territories, you're applying for both industrial and commercial, but only in Baltimore Gas's service territory are you applying for residential. Can I just get some insight into your thinking as to why you applied for residential in
Right.
BGE,
tell you
but not the
Right.
other?
I'll tell you the truth. I believe that was a mistake. I believe that was checked off by mistake. I'm just looking right now.
Okay.
You said electric? I'm just looking at the application I submitted right now.
Right, both electric and gas. It appeared that you wanted a license, a broker license in BGE service territory. Is that wrong?
No, correct. I did want a license there. I don't see that I checked off residential.
Okay. Mr. Mosier,
Is that you said?
okay. Hold on, Ms. Wilcash, 1 second.
Sure.
Mr. Mosier, I was taking a look at the buck sheet. It appeared that,
Oh, I see here that gas was accidentally checked off residential, but not the electric.
okay, Ms. Wilcash, I just need some clarity here. Are you seeking to provide broker services to residential customers in BGE?
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we actually had a licensed company fill out this application for us, the whole beginning of the application, and it seems like they accidentally checked off the residential box.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're not seeking any residential license in the state of Maryland?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Mosier, does that make sense to you? We'll have to amend the buck sheet.
It does. Yeah, I think that, yeah, the company, yeah, they had used a consultant to apply for the application. And, for what it's worth, when I contacted the company about the confidential earlier filing, they were very responsive, and they have since filed non-confidential versions, which hopefully you've received.
We have, thank you. Thank you to the parties and Office of Executive Secretary. Okay, Ms. Wilcash, just one last question. I know we have two principals involved at Energy Analysis Group, Mr. Pollack, and what was the other principal's name?
Hartman?
Hartman, Mr. Hartman. Just to be clear, neither of these gentlemen have felony records in the past 10 years or any adverse regulatory actions taken?
Yeah, correct.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wilcash. So we will just orally amend and note for the record that the applicant is not seeking to do business in terms of being a broker with respect to residential customers in the state of Maryland. So Office of People's Counsel can stand down with respect to this matter. Thank you. Do my colleagues have any additional questions? With that, I would move that we grant the company, Energy Analysis Group Limited Liability Company, a license to operate as an electricity supplier in Maryland with respect to item number 8, and as a natural gas supplier in Maryland with respect to item number 9, limited to broker services for the customer classes and service territories applied for and recommended by staff, noting that this does not include residential customers. Direct the company to provide marketing materials and training materials specific to its Maryland operations to the commission staff 30 days prior to utilization of the materials of Maryland, and direct the company to file notice with the commission within 30 days of any changes to the information in the application. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard. I vote aye. The motion is approved. Thank you, Ms. Wilcash. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, items number 1 and 2 are proposed tariff revisions to the green rider rates of Potomac Electric Power Company and Delmarva Power and Light Company. On these items for staff, we have Kevin Mosier and Annette Garofalo, and for the companies, Doug McKeel and Matt Bonikowski.
Thank you. Good morning, staff.
Good morning. By letters dated December 30th, 2021, PHI submitted tariff revisions to its green rider rates. The companies made the filings to reflect up-to-date REC prices. The proposed revisions would be effective on February 1st, and the rider provides 100% green renewable energy to certain plug-in vehicle electric customers. The new rate of 1.8 cents per kilowatt hour is an 18% decrease over the existing rate, and staff recommends the commission accept the tariff pages for filing.
Who's speaking? Oh, I'm sorry. Any?
Doug, anybody?
Mr. McKeel, can you hear me?
Yes, sure. Sorry. I have nothing to add.
Oh, okay.
Happy to answer any questions. If I don't have
Okay.
anything to say, I generally don't pipe up.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bonikowski, good to see you. Do commissioners have questions for the utility? Seeing none, I would move that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of February 1st, 2022. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman,
Aye.
Commissioner Linton,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Aye.
and Commissioner Richard. I vote aye. The motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, item number 3 is a request from the Potomac Edison Company for an extension of the project operational deadline for its Urbana energy storage project. On this item for staff, we have DeAndre Wilson
Sorry.
and Michael Dean. For the company, Jeff Trout, Brian Mollenshot, and Jason Neville. And for Office of People's Counsel, Daria Pugh.
Thank you. Good morning to our staff.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very good, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, and staff. This is DeAndre Wilson presenting on behalf of staff. On April 15th, 2020, the Potomac Edison Company filed 2 energy storage projects, Little Orleans and Town Hill, pursuant to Commission Order number 89240 and case number 9619. Which established an energy storage pilot program in accordance with the Energy Storage Pilot Project Act. On February 5th, 2021, the company filed its Urbana project, replacing its Little Orleans project, which the company previously withdrew on July 7th, 2020. On April 21st, 2021, the Commission issued order number 89805, approving the company's Urbana project with the understanding that the project's in-service date would be February 28, 2022. On December 30th, 2021, Potomac Edison filed a request for the extension of the project operational deadline for its Urbana project, energy storage project, to August 31st, 2022, because of unanticipated project development delays due to unexpected new requirements imposed by the Maryland Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration, delays with having to engage an external civil engineering firm in order to acquire the utility permits from MDOT and the Federal Highway Administration, supply chain issues, and an engineering redesign due to technical issues. The company has taken measures to mitigate the additional costs associated with the delay of the project and has not reported any incremental costs. Therefore, there should be no impact to the project's primary value streams as a result. As a recommendation, pursuant to Public Utility Article 7 216-862, staff recommends the commission approve the requested operational date extension to August 31st, 2022 for PE's Urbana project for good cause. Staff would like to point out that the Office of People's Counsel has also written comments in regards to this filing. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. We'll turn to counsel for Maryland Office of People's Counsel.
Good morning, Commissioners. Daria Pugh, Assistant People's Counsel on behalf of OPC. OPC does not oppose PE's request for an extension for the Urbana EV charging station. OPC recognizes that PE has provided good cause for the delay and has taken steps towards mitigation. OPC wanted to note that some of the explanations did raise some concerns that they would have been foreseeable at the time PE submitted its application, and we wanted to alert the Commission of those concerns. In the event that PE requests a subsequent extension on the project, OPC reserves our right to raise any concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pugh. Your right is reserved. We will turn to counsel for the utility, Mr. Trout.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Jeffrey Trout for Potomac Edison. We agree with the staff's recommendation and analysis, and otherwise we are here to answer your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Trout. Do commissioners have questions? Commissioner O'Donnell.
Just to clarify for the record, Mr. Chairman, the buck sheet for item number 3 appears to cover both projects. And the buck sheet for item number 4 is simply the Town Hill project standalone. Is it my understanding that the proposed recommendation of staff for buck sheet for item number 3 only includes the Urbana energy storage project and does not include the Town Hill project?
Staff's buck sheet, which was filed or on file, is a compilation of both projects, and they have separate recommendations. So staff comments that were filed are for both, but the recommendations are separate. It was up until yesterday that the utility requested that we move their filing for or the admin for their second project, which is the Town Hill project, to another date.
Understood. I just wanted to clarify for the record that direct the company to confirm an operational start date for Town Hill was not going to be part of taking up item number 3, and there would be a deferral for item number 4, which would later incorporate that if it's resolved. Correct?
That is correct. That's the way we see it. If we need to make any amendments to our existing filing, I think we can speak with staff counsel as to move forward with that. But at this moment, we're only speaking on the Urbana project.
Okay, I just wanted to level set that and make it clear for the record so that someone doesn't go back and look at the buck sheet and say, well, you approved this later. So we'll take care of that in the amendment or in the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Seeing none, I would move that we approve the requested operational date for extension of the Urbana project to August 31st, 2022 for good cause shown. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton. Aye. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, items number 5 and 6 are both concern proposed base standard offer rates from the Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, Inc. On these items for staff, we have David Hoppeck and Michael Dean. For the Cooperative, Eugene Bradford, Lizelle Rory, and Mark McDougall.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hoppeck.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. David Hoppeck on behalf of Commission staff. Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, or SMECO, has filed revised tariff pages to adjust its base standard offer service rates and standard offer service time of use rates. By commission order, under a settlement agreement governing SMECO's SOS rates, SMECO is required to submit revised SOS rates when the residential class power purchase cost adjustment is more than 5% of the residential class's SOS rate on an absolute value basis for 3 consecutive months, as occurred in September, October, and November 2021, driven primarily by higher energy costs. Base SOS energy rates are increasing for all classes, and base SOS demand rates are increasing or staying the same for most classes. Staff recommends that the Commission accept the proposed base SOS rates for filing with an effective date of February 1st, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoppick. We'll turn to counsel for the cooperative.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Mark McDougall on behalf of SMECO. With me today are Eugene Bradford, SMECO's Rates and Energy Procurement Vice President, and Lizelle Rory, SMECO's Economic Services Director. SMECO thought that staff did a very nice job in its analysis of SMECO's filings, and we are here for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. McDougall. We'll begin the question with Commissioner O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to go to page 4 of the buck sheet, table 1, make sure I understand some of the entries in that table. Mr. Hoppick, could you cover for me the adjustment for over recovery? The previous filing was minus 2.8 million. The current filing is 4.1 million. And that shows a change of 7 million. It looks like you just took the raw numbers and added them together to get that 7 million. I'm having a hard time understanding that. Could you explain that for me?
Sure. So adjustment for under recovery is incorporated into kind of what you can think of as the overall revenue requirement. In the prior filing, customers had essentially been paying more than SMECO's energy costs up to the point of the filing. So it reduced the revenue requirement for the company. Whereas in the current filing, where we have increasing energy rates, revenues recovered are less than the actual costs. And so, you know, we're trying to show, I'm trying to show the total swing on the impact of total costs. So in the prior filing, it reduced that final row total, and in the current filing, it increases. So you can think of it as current filing minus prior filing. So you know, a negative of a negative is turns into a positive, and so that's why I made those additive.
Hey, but I'm having a hard time understanding that. You would think you would subtract the 2.876 million from the current 4 million to arrive at the change. One's a negative number. It doesn't make sense to me. You can't add a negative number and get a higher positive number.
Well, if you subtract a negative, it becomes a positive.
I understand that. I mean, I'm a nuclear technician. I understand basic mathematics, but you're adding a negative number to a positive number and you're getting a bigger number.
Okay, well, again, I was approaching it from what is the impact on the total amount of revenue being recovered, and previously it was reducing it, and in this instance it's increasing it. So
I get it. I get that.
Okay.
I get the under recovery in the current filing and the over recovery in the previous filing. I understand that. I'm just trying to look at the mathematics and see how you add a negative number to a positive number and get a bigger positive number. That I fail to understand as a function of basic mathematics.
all right, well,
All right, let me turn to the company. Thank you. Mr. McDougall, what caused that under recovery in the current filing?
SMECO's been under recovering its energy and transmission costs primarily for a number of months. Energy costs have been increasing and transmission costs have been increasing as well. We are required to make this filing when the PPCA for residential customers is 5% plus or minus of the base SOS filing. And basically what that does, if the PPCA is a positive number, it will increase the base SOS and reduce the PPCA. But the reason that SMECO is required to make this filing is because primarily of the increasing energy costs followed by the transmission costs for the period.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with COVID.
Not that I know, but Mr. Bradford, if you can confirm that or deny that, let me know.
It is not anything that is specific about the COVID pandemic. It is, as Mr. McDougall said, essentially the current rates were based upon the average power supply cost when we filed that back in November 2020, and currently power supply costs have increased here at the end of 2021 into 2022, so that the current rates are not producing revenues that cover our existing costs right now, and that's why we have the under recovery.
All right, fair enough. So I suppose there's no way that you could have used the PPA $8 million+ that you received from the federal government to offset some of these under recoveries. Is that correct?
Chairman, Commissioner O'Donnell, the monies that we used from the federal government had to be used for payroll costs and the like, and so that wouldn't have offset our energy or transmission cost increases.
Okay, is that money gone? That $8 million?
Yes, it is, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Herman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McDougall, I understand that, this is a settlement and this is, somewhat formulaic, but this is a pretty significant increase of $20 a month in the summer and the winter. Can you tell me what the cooperative is doing to let its members know about this and help them if they're having, trouble with their bills?
Well, Commissioner Herman, we do inform our customers of any changes in the energy rates that they pay. I say energy rates, SOS rates that they pay on their bill. And when it's significant like this, we typically explain that in particularly cold weather like we're seeing right now, that it will have a significant increase on their bill. We are active in communicating with our customers the ability to seek assistance from state and federal agencies, and we also work very closely with our customers to enter into payment arrangements if they need it.
Okay, thank you, because I think that this is this is quite a significant increase. So I imagine that some of your customer members may be, calling the service center when they see their new bills if they weren't watching their emails and so on. So I urge the cooperative to do everything it can to help its customers, and it sounds like you're prepared to do that. Thank you.
Seeing no additional questions at this time, I will call a motion that we accept the base standard offer service rates for filing with an effective date of February 1st, 2022. This is with respect to items number 5 and 6. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, the final item today is item number 7. It is the cost true-up from Baltimore Gas and Electric Company of the standard offered service administrative charges. On this item for staff, we have Brett Spruill, Michael Dean, and Drew McCullough, and for the company, John Frayne and Beverly Sikora.
Good morning, Mr. Sproul. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Brett Sproul on behalf of staff. On December 21st, 2021, the Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, or BGE, filed revised tariff pages in order to true up the administrative charge rates under Rider 1 of BGE's electric service tariff. The administrative charges being updated are for the residential, Type 1, Type 2, and hourly rate classes, and are subject to an adjustment every 4 months in order to true up the company's actual costs as compared to its estimated costs. The administrative charge reflects the company's incurred administrative costs for providing SOS service to each of its rate classes and consists of 5 different cost components: incremental costs, uncollectible costs, cash working capital revenue requirement, an administrative adjustment, and a return. Overall, the administrative charge for residential and Type 1 classes has decreased, and the administrative charge for Type 2 and hourly classes has increased. Numerous private area lighting rates on Schedule PL have changed as a result of these rates being included in Type 1 SOS rates. All of the private area lights that were impacted have decreased. Staff has analyzed and verified BGE's true-up calculations for its administrative charge rates and recommends that the Commission accept for filing the proposed updates with an effective date of February 1st, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll turn to counsel for the utility.
Good morning, Commissioners. Beverly Sikora on behalf of BGE. BGE has no additional comments, but we're here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Sikora. Do the commissioners have questions? Seeing none, I would move that we accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of February 1st, 2022. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved. Seeing no additional matters on today's administrative meeting, this meeting is now